Oh my God.
So I'm like, man, I'll take you in the back and make you cry, like make you scream, dude. Like, what are you talking about? But if I make it, we even. So I'm like, oh, all right. So I shoot, I make it, boom. He shot, he missed, bam. I said, so you got me 100? And he was like, bet. I'm like, all right. So I shot, I make it. He shot, he make it. So I'm like, you still owe me 100?
Yeah.
So he like, no, we even. I'm like, I start laughing. I'm like, dude, you owe me.
Terence Crawford recently responded to comments linking him to a potential showdown with Floyd Mayweather and made it clear that he has little interest in the idea. Crawford suggested that discussions about such a fight are driven more by publicity and financial opportunities than genuine competition. He hinted that retired legends often become involved in these conversations because of the attention and revenue they can generate. According to Crawford, his current focus remains on building his own career rather than pursuing exhibition-style matchups against fighters from previous eras.
When he presented himself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But you
Floyd, yeah, because
Crawford also addressed the growing discussion surrounding Mayweather's reaction to his recent accomplishments. Following his victory over Canelo Alvarez, many expected the boxing world to focus entirely on Crawford's achievement. However, comments involving Mayweather quickly became part of the conversation. Some supporters of Crawford believe that attention should remain on active champions and their achievements, while others continue to compare today's stars with boxing legends from the past.
And this dude just come over there and like bet 100. I'm like, what? He like bet 100. Bet 100 on what? He like shot for shot bet 100. So I'm like, so I make it, you give me the part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
What do you want to...
Another point of debate involved Mayweather's public reaction to Crawford's success. Critics argued that while Mayweather acknowledged the event, much of the attention centered on his betting activity and social media posts rather than direct support for Crawford's accomplishment. When discussions about a possible fight surfaced, Crawford reportedly dismissed the idea and questioned why such conversations
How do you
continue
beat
to dominate
Floyd,
headlines.
like, since nobody's been able to crack that code?
Do you think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
Ilia Topuria could knock out Bud Crawford on first contact. Is there any truth to it? Why is it always the MMA guys gotta go box? It doesn't sell. James Toney and the UFC lost a whole bunch of money with it. If Ilia Topuria really could beat up Terence Crawford, why didn't he go into boxing? Ilia is our champion. After seeing Conor, who could not make an amateur Olympic team.
The weekend generated even more controversy when UFC champion Ilia Topuria reacted to Crawford using entrance music that fans associated with him. Although Crawford appeared unbothered by the comparison during media appearances, Topuria later responded publicly and expressed his frustration. The exchange quickly gained attention online, creating another unexpected storyline following Crawford's major victory.
When I looked at it, he came out in the southpaw stance and he took Canelo's jab away from him. As you know, if you take a fighter's jab away from them, then it's hard for them to really land. You force them to use one shot, and he forced them to use his backhand, his rear hand. Crawford was ready for the loop in the right hands. Crawford was ready for the body shot.
The song out and performed tonight. I got Mexicans and Latinos on my side as well, so.
Did you know Ilia Topuria walks out to that song in the UFC?
You said what?
Ilia Topuria walks out to that song in the UFC.
Did he? Oh, good.
As the discussion continued, Crawford downplayed the significance of Topuria's comments and suggested that the UFC star was benefiting from the publicity surrounding his name. Speaking in interviews, Crawford questioned the purpose of the call-out and indicated that he saw little competitive value in the matchup. He also revealed that he had previously met Topuria, but did not view the encounter as anything more than a respectful exchange between athletes.
Crawford stated, I don't know who he is. Ilia's mad. It works every time, and Ilia went crazy. Ilia's just, you don't know who I met you at this. When Ilia responds with truth, when he brings the receipts and the facts, that's what you do when you...
Crawford later pointed out that if Topuria genuinely wanted to pursue a fight, he could have raised the subject directly when they met in person. While acknowledging that crossover events between boxing and mixed martial arts can attract enormous attention and generate substantial revenue, Crawford emphasized that not every matchup makes sense from a competitive or career standpoint. He also argued that comparisons to previous crossover spectacles may be unrealistic given the differences in popularity and market appeal.
None of it. He's like, who the f*** is that guy? He's not on my level. He's not on Conor McGregor's level. What the hell is going on? I mean, come on, let's be honest. Jake Paul's fighting Gervonta Davis. If that can happen, or him fighting Mike Tyson, if there's a world that we live in where that can go down and get watched by millions of people on...
Continuing the discussion, Crawford admitted that he was unfamiliar with much of Topuria's work inside the cage. While he respected his accomplishments, he maintained that comparisons to stars like Conor McGregor were premature. Topuria quickly responded online, defending his status and expressing confidence in his ability to compete against elite athletes from other combat sports. The exchange added further fuel to an already growing rivalry between supporters of both fighters.
Was always willing to risk it. Ilya, I believe, is willing to risk it. Ilya versus Crawford. Am I wasting my time talking to you guys about that? Maybe not. There's not yet something here, but there's not nothing here.
The possibility of a crossover contest became even more intriguing after Shakur Stevenson offered his opinion. Stevenson suggested that Crawford's athletic background, particularly his wrestling experience, could allow him to perform surprisingly well under mixed martial arts rules. His comments generated considerable discussion among fans, many of whom were fascinated by the idea of a world-class boxer testing himself in a completely different sport.
Leave Bud alone. I think Bud Crawford is just different. In a boxing ring with him, bro, you're not gonna last more than one round, I don't think. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets in the UFC and beat the out of some guys too, because
Stevenson went even further by expressing confidence in Crawford's overall athletic ability. He argued that Crawford possesses the adaptability and competitive mindset necessary to succeed in unfamiliar situations. While many viewed the comments as bold, they highlighted the respect Crawford receives from fellow fighters who believe his talents extend beyond traditional boxing.
Obviously, it was a great show today. I was curious about your entrance, how you came to choose that song in particular to walk out to.
Well, you know, it was part of my outfit. The outfit was inspired by the movie Desperado. As you see, I had the guitar and everything, and my great childhood friend, Rosendo Robles, he was the one that, you know, carried the song out.
Terence Crawford had the goddamn audacity to walk out to Ilya Topuria's walkout song. I mean, what on earth is going on? How dare he? That is Ilya Topuria's song, okay? Ilya Topuria took exception to this in a very big way, and now these two are going back and forth. They are talking shit, and Crawford ain't having none of it.
Not everyone shares that level of optimism. Former UFC champion Daniel Cormier has expressed skepticism about the practicality of a Crawford versus Topuria matchup. Cormier pointed out that crossover events generally require enormous star power to become financially viable and questioned whether the fight currently possesses that level of mainstream appeal. He also referenced other high-profile crossover contests, noting that their success depended heavily on the fame of the athletes involved.
Like him.
I just was like, well, you know, it's his personal opinion. He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, you know, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. You know, one where he felt like he was at the best.
Cormier further explained that while the matchup could attract attention, broader public interest would likely determine whether it ever becomes reality. He suggested that Topuria is still building his global profile and has not yet reached the level of recognition achieved by some previous crossover stars. Nevertheless, he acknowledged that Crawford's willingness to explore major opportunities has always been one of the defining characteristics of his career.
E-World, Ilya Topuria says that if you guys ever boxed, he would knock you out basically with the first punch.
That dude drunk, you know. Hey, you know, a lot of MMA guys, they drink a lot, so he must have been on that alcohol that day.
Others within the combat sports community believe the discussion itself demonstrates the growing appeal of crossover events. Some argue that if Crawford chooses not to pursue such a fight, another boxer eventually might. At the same time, several analysts remain opposed to the concept, insisting that elite champions should focus on competing within their own disciplines. Whether the matchup ever materializes or not, the conversation has already succeeded in generating significant attention across both boxing and mixed martial arts.